Welcome to a special edition of Bucs Insider Live. Casey Phillips here with senior writer and editor Scott Smith. And look at this new format we have.
I thought it was because me was special.
Oh, yes, that too.
Oh, it's the format.
It's the but both. You're also very special. But yeah, look at this format. So this is something new that we're trying. We're going to see if it's something that we end up being able to stick around for a while. But we'd love to hear your thoughts on it as we go throughout the show. So make sure you send it to us on Facebook or any other questions you have. That this is where we're going to hear your thoughts on our new beautiful format that we have. So, and it's a great time to do a new format because we have so much to talk about.
We do.
Such an exciting year.
We really do.
Time of year. We are 1 week away from the draft.
Exactly.
After so much talking about it, this is our final Bucs Insider Live before the draft. But also before we get into some of that stuff, there was some news. Of course, Taylor Swift kicked us out of our show last week, so we missed a few things to talk about. And since our last show, one of those things is Gerald McCoy officially announced his retirement, longtime Buccaneers. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You covered his entire career here.
Yeah, third overall pick in the 2010 draft. Really had a phenomenal career, played for the Bucs from 2010 through 18, and had 59.5 career sacks, which is, I think, maybe third most in team history. He made 6 Pro Bowls. That's as many Pro Bowls as Leroy Selman and Mike Alstott made. And those two guys are deservedly probably the two most popular players in franchise history. Gerald McCoy is an extremely accomplished player, and, you know, it's cool that he's going out on, you know, his terms and making his retirement. And just one of the great Buccaneers of all time. Absolutely,
yeah. We were just, we loved having him here. He was such a fun personality and fun player to watch. Yeah, he was kind of the whole package there with that stuff. And so now also we have a fun new part of this. We have a trivia question.
This is my favorite part.
Yes, because you came up with it.
I am the trivia master.
You are, and I am terrible at trivia. Never invite me to be on your
Buccaneers
trivia team. I'm terrible at any trivia.
Oh, really?
It's very bad. I'm the person that should write the question. I'm like, you know, the guy that did the thing.
You could host Jeopardy, but not be on it.
Exactly, which is what I'm about to do right now. So our trivia question, we're going to throw it up here for you guys to be able to see this. So the Buccaneers signed quarterback Baker Mayfield, the first overall pick in the 2018 draft, who was the only player drafted first overall by another team that played for Tampa Bay. So you came up with this. Did you just know this off the top of your head?
No, I mean, I looked it up. I mean, I kind of knew it.
You kind of knew?
I kind of looked it up to make sure. There's been 5, but 4 of them were draft picks by the Bucs. Jameis Winston,
right. So this is the fact that it was one overall by another team
who then played for the Bucs.
So if you know this without Googling, come on now.
Don't Google.
We're not cheaters here. No Googling. If you know this, leave it in our comment section of the Facebook page of our video here. So we're going to give people a few minutes to answer that, and we're going to go on to some of our other topics. So first, right now, there is the voluntary off-season workout program going on, and so we're officially kind of past the point where there's nothing happening in the building in terms of
there's players
guys.
all over the place.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah. And so tell us a little bit about what's going on right now in terms of the overall off-season schedule, what players are allowed to do.
So basically what you're going to see in these highlights here are guys working out in the weight room, because that's about all they can do. It's phase 1. There's 3 phases, and this is all set up by the league. You have to follow these rules. So there's 3 phases to the workout, and this is phase 1, which lasts 2 weeks. And all they can do is they can have meetings for a certain amount of time. They can work in the weight room, and anybody that needs rehab can get rehab. So then you move on after 2 weeks to phase 2, where you can go on the field. Like right now, coaches can't go on the field with the players, other than the strength coaches.
Right.
But in phase 2, the coaches can go out there. They can start doing drills like offensive line lining up against other offensive linemen. Can't do offense versus defense. You have to do it basically at a walkthrough pace. So it's kind of like working through the playbook but not going full speed. And then in phase 3, that abbreviation that everybody knows, OTAs, what is it? Organized team activities. We say OTA so often I forget what it stands
what it
for.
actually means.
And that's really like a regular practice where you can do 7-on-7 drills, 9-on-7, which is a running drill, 11-on-11, and basically you can do offense versus defense. And you also can have all of this is voluntary, by the way, except for in phase 3 you can have one mandatory 3-day mini camp, which the Bucs generally put at the very end in about the 2nd week of June, and that ends it, and then you have the break before training camp. But at no point, the overarching point here is no matter what phase you're in, no live contact. So no hitting, no helmets.
Right, absolutely. And then I know also, one of the big things of this offseason is getting the new offensive coordinator, Dave Canales, and learning more about what his offense is going to look like, what he prioritizes and emphasizes to everybody. So what are some of the things you feel like you've learned about him and what his offense
I really enjoyed
like?
his initial press conference because he was asked basically what his core tenets to his offensive philosophy were. And he's like, I'm actually in a good position to answer this because I've been doing all these interviews with teams, with the Bucs in particular, and they asked me this, obviously. So he rattled off like 5 things, but number 1 on the list, by far, was protect the football. Don't turn the football over. And that's going to be that is something they're already drilling into the players. Both Kyle Trask and Rashad White talked about how that was an incredible emphasis that they were told right from the beginning. And those guys are guys that are searching for bigger roles this year. Rashad almost certainly will. Kyle Trask is battling for the starting quarterback job. They have to take care of the football, and that was a problem last year compared to where we'd been. The Bucs made the playoffs 3 years in a row, right, in the Tom Brady era. But it's fair to say that last year, with an 8-9 record, wasn't as good as the 2 previous years. And one of the main reasons was, look at this, the Bucs under Todd Bowles, in particular, with his defense getting lots of takeaways until last year, they had been among the best teams in the league in getting turnovers and also converting those into points as compared to their opponents. Last year, -2 turnover differential and -5 points off turnover differential, which was a big downturn and something that the Bucs want to fix in 2023.
Yeah, just got to be one of the biggest indicators of how a game is going to go. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to watch. And then also, we know that we got to hear from some players because of the off-season workout starting. There were guys in the building. Yeah. Some of them talked to the media. One of them was Tristan Wirfs, and we've also had some other news along the offensive line. So overall, just kind of wanted to see this week, what do you feel like you learned about the offensive line? What has changed about the offensive line?
Tristan was funny because he said nobody's really told him if he's playing left tackle, if he's playing right tackle, because it's like, I see it on Twitter. So because
the ultimate authority,
yeah,
obviously.
Exactly. So because he at least has this thought that maybe he might be switched to left tackle, he's decided to already start working. Now, like I said before, he can't be working with coaches right now, but he's been at One Buck even before the offseason program started. He's been here throughout most of the offseason, and he can go out in the field and work on his footwork or whatever. And he said he's already started working at left tackle and right tackle, he said to cover all his bases just in case he gets switched. So if Tristan is moved to left tackle, which may have something to do with the draft, which we'll be talking about en road to the draft, what could the line look like? And General Manager Jason Light, during his pre-draft press conference, said, yeah, there's some tackles and there's some linemen that we like in this draft that we've done a lot of work on, but we also like a lot of the guys that we have here, and there's some versatile guys. So this is not a depth chart. Nobody think I put up a depth chart here. Yeah. I'm not saying this is the starters.
According to Scott
or
Smith,
Aaron Stinney's the right guard or ahead of Robert Hainsey. I'm putting all the guys out there at spots they could play if Tristan's playing left tackle. You could see Luke Gedeke at right tackle, where he started the last game of last season. Aaron Stinney re-signed. Robert Hainsey, it was just, I've got Ryan Jensen there because I presume after he came back at the end of the season, he's your starting center. You could put Robert Hainsey behind him, obviously, but Brandon Walton's a shot at right tackle. We did sign Matt Filer, a guy that started 33 games over the last 2 seasons for the Chargers. So there's a lot of options there as how the line could line up, and you see, obviously, I put on there also draft picks as a possibility.
Yeah, which is going to be really interesting to see. And I know that we also had that trivia question up there. Just a reminder to everybody, if you're wanting to answer, we want to let as many people answer as possible. If you've maybe seen on there again, who is a #1 pick from another team that has now joined the Buccaneers. So we'll address that again towards the end of the episode. And now we are so excited to talk about this. You wore the perfect thing for today. You look at this shirt. In case people haven't heard, again, because we didn't have a show last week, we didn't get a chance to talk about this. It's official. The throwbacks are coming back.
Yes.
And Bucco Bruce is coming back. First of all, before we get a little bit more into this, I would just love to hear your thoughts as someone who has a long history with the Buccaneers and knows a thing or two about these throwback jerseys.
Yeah.
You like how I said that?
Emphasize
I love
that, don't
to
you?
emphasize that.
I actually, when I started here, we were still wearing the orange and red for the first few years that I was here. So, it's funny because when the Buccaneers switched to their new uniforms under, the Glazers came in and bought the team and switched to new uniforms and among the first couple years. and it was definitely embraced. People did want a new look, you know, and so it took time after that for the orange and Bucco Bruce to come back into vogue, but now people are crazy about it.
They are.
Like, and I like that. I mean, we always get nostalgic, right?
Yep.
We were talking about listening to 90s music earlier before the show. I mean, you get nostalgic about things, and then you love to have them come back. And then, you know, when we had the throwback games before the helmet rule that made us stop doing it for a number of years, and now thankfully it's back because we can use a second helmet. They decked out the whole stadium. It wasn't just the uniforms, it was the whole stadium. And so, judging from how we've done in the past, I'm really excited about how the whole thing is going to be done this year. It's gonna be great.
That's going to be great. Well, we are going to talk a little bit more about this also with a special guest. So we are going to have Scott Smith step out while we play this next video, and we're going to bring in a special guest. So for now, check out this teaser video showing a little bit about this throwback excitement we have here. Oh, I love it. We're so excited for the throwbacks and for Bucco Bruce, and I'm so excited for my special guest today. Anyone who comes to Bucs games or does a lot of other things around Tampa, frankly, is going to recognize none other than DJ Eakin. Eakin, thanks for being here.
I appreciate it, Casey. How you doing?
Good, doing great. So, first of all, would love to hear your thoughts on the throwback stuff after watching the video and thinking about it.
I was thinking of kicks like the whole time. Like,
of course.
You know, I was like, what do you rock when you put that throwback color on? You know, so that was my whole. I'm all about the colors because I like bright colors too. But then I'm also like, do I match my kicks when I come to the games?
Oh yeah, you have to. It's a rule. It's a rule.
I don't know. I kind of like to not do it. It kind of, you know, but I like the orange a lot. It, you know, as my sister said back in the day, brings out my skin tone.
It's gonna be good. I love that. So, tell people a little bit about, for those who don't know, what kind of is your role with the Bucs and what you tend to do on game day, other than getting to hang out with the coolest person.
Well,
stadium.
yeah. Other than getting to hang out with the coolest person, who I get to share her treasure chest with. That's what I tell everyone. I go, it's really her treasure chest.
My treasure chest. I just allow you into it, right?
Right. They allow me to come into Raymond James Stadium every Sunday, and I like to describe my job as controlled chaos. Like, that's what it is. And it's I get to throw this really cool party as the players are warming up, as the fans are in the stadium. And it's like, honestly, it's like the coolest thing ever to me, because, you know, like, the energy of the people. So when, you know, where they have us with the treasure chest and those people get to come up and to be right there, it's like a party right there. So it's a good time. I try to give everybody a little bit of everything, in that it's like a 35-40 minute set. So everything from some old school rock to, by the time the players are out, we're future and we're doing all of that. But, you know, it's a cool thing, I think. And I just want it, to be honest, I just want to make sure everybody has a good time when I'm on the set, and then also, you know, getting to shout out the crowd, and when people hit the screen, and if someone tells me it's their birthday and I get to say it like on the mic, I think that's the coolest thing ever. So I think I'm having as much fun as anybody else. So I don't know. I'm a big kid anyway.
Yeah, and you know what I love about everything for in stadium, both what you do and everyone that runs the video boards, the music, everything that goes on in stadium, it's twofold, right? It's to get the fans excited, to enhance their experience, but it's also to get the team excited. That I know we all view it as we are a part of the effort to make sure that they're hyped and they're ready. And so that's one of my favorite things you do, is that certain players have songs that they have requested, and so in your ear you get to hear, like, so-and-so's about to run out, hit their jam.
Right.
And I think that that's something that people would never realize to pay attention to in pregame, is that you have those songs for certain guys.
Honestly, like, if there was ever anything that, like, is like a dream, it was like to get to when last season, you know, which was Tom Brady's last season, I get to introduce him every game. The connection was extra to me also because I was there for a lot of the Jay-Z stuff, because in college I worked at Def Jam. So to have him be tell me that Public Announcement by Jay-Z was his favorite song, and to get to say that every time, give it up for my quarterback, and then we drop Public Announcement by Jay-Z. Now me we introduce my...
It's incredible. It's incredible. All right, well, we want to give everybody the answer to that trivia question from earlier. Did you know this when we first threw it out?
Don't do that to me.
You could have just lied and said yes, and I would have given everybody the answer. I didn't know it either. This is why Scott Smith's around. He has these answers to things. All right, so the #1 overall pick that was not drafted by the Bucs but came to play for the Bucs, Keyshawn Johnson.
I feel like I should have known that. I feel like I should have known that.
I wasn't going to shame you. It's all right. But yes, Keyshawn Johnson was the answer. Great trivia question by Scott Smith. So now we'll close with this. Just tell us a little bit about what you're excited about for your role in the draft party, and then maybe just what you're excited about for this Bucs season overall.
The fans. Like, the fans are the best part to me. Like, I mean, of course, you know, just being a part of this whole experience with the Buccaneers, but it's the energy from the fans to me more than anything else, and getting to give them that chance to, you know, to like be in what we're in. And I think something that we take for granted is when they put me on the screen and a fan gets to be on the screen with me, that joy that they have. Yeah, that's the best part to me. Like I tell everybody, it's the energy I get from the fans.
That's awesome. Well, that is going to happen a week from today at the draft party here at Raymond James Stadium. So Eakin's going to be a part of it. Myself, Scott Smith, we're all going to be there as part of the draft party and the show leading up to the draft itself. So if you have a chance to come to that draft party, make it happen. You can hang out with him, hang out with us. It's going to be phenomenal. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us. Eakin, thanks for being a part of the show today.
Thank you for having me.
And we hope everybody enjoyed our new format. Again, send us your thoughts on Facebook of what you thought of it, and we are going to be back here in a couple weeks. By then the draft will have happened, because again, next Thursday no show here because of the draft itself. So we'll see you next time.